Hello everyone, my name is Samar Singh and my partner Dhruvi. We are going to present the PPT on our project. So our project is Enterprise Network Security Design with Firewall. So our main concern is with security, but we are not only focusing on the security, we are going to give a backup solution to our network as well as we are making it more efficient. Now we will move to a next slide where it is a content. So what content we are having in our PPT? That is foundation, introduction, basic concepts, architecture and implementation, working, benefits, and uses. So we'll move to a next slide, that is foundation. Now, the main concept of this project was why not make something that we have learned till now, as we have learned new concept of the networking, that how day by day it's developing. So to create something from our knowledge, we have seen the network system in the small companies. So we have seen to start a small company where they are developing a web pages or any kind of work, they can't afford a lot of devices. So our concern was to provide a all function using minimal devices with good security. So this was our basic idea for this project. So here in our project, there is a small company which developed the web page for the clients. Now the network are already designed in the market, but we have created some changes in this presented network to make it more efficient and make it more secure. So the new concept we have learned, that concept we are going to implement on this already designed network. So the new concept that we are adding to the network is HSRP, that is Hot Standby Routing Protocol, Load Balance, STP, etc. So our one more concern is make it anti-failure, having a backup solution that if there is some physical failure, still our network should run. This is our main concern with our network. So that is that if that it won't stop running and work still continues. So we are focusing on this part now. So this is a small company. We don't have a lot of funds. The fund are also a very important part for the company, for a startup of the company. So our responsibility to provide solution that the network should have all the function and able to work with the using a minimum number of devices. So here we are going to create a lot of virtual network. So this is a foundation of our project. Now we will see Now we'll move to a next slide where it is going to introduce about our project. So now we will see the introduction of our project. So if it was a challenge to create a network providing all function using a minimal number of devices. So to do that, we have designed our network in such a way that it provide all function to our network. So in a company, there are number of hosts. So to configure it, that host one by one is a difficult task. We are providing a facility that all all host and switches can be configured from one place. The main point of this project to provide a security to our network. So we are using firewall to provide security to our network. But how? It is going to be explained afterwards. So before implementing this network in the real world, we will check it's working on the Cisco packet tracer, where we can easily see the working of the network. After the successful implementation on the Cisco packet tracer, we can implement in the physical world. And whatever we have done in the Cisco packet transfer can be easily installed in the physical world. So in this network, we are configure a network in such a way that if it has a backup, it has a backup. Like if there is some failure in the network, like breaking of wire or damaged switch or a router, still our network will work. And such how we are design our network. In this, we are going to use a CCNA concept that we have learned till now. So basically, we are going to use our knowledge, whatever we have studied till now, in our project. So now move to a next slide where it says a basic concept. So the basic concept that we are using in our project is are as follow. The promise we have given before that all going to be fulfilled by using this concept. By using this concept, we will design our network. So the first is VTP, that is VLAN trunking protocol. By using this protocol, we can configure all the switches from one switch. We don't need to configure each switch individually. This is done by selecting a one switch as a priority from where we can configure all the switches. VLAN. Now here we have created a virtual network that divides the network in a different part. We don't need to buy a different switches to create a different LAN. We are going to create a virtual LAN in a single switch so that we can easily differ the department. So that is why we are using a VLAN over here. Now STP, that is spanning tree protocol. So to reach at the destination with the smallest path cost to increase the efficiency of the network, and that is why we are using a STP. And it is also used for to give a backup if one of the path doesn't work. Still, a packet will pass to a destination. Next is HSRP, that is Hot Standby Router Protocol, to provide the backup as if one of the router fails or doesn't work. Still, it is able to communicate with the outer network. As it is a company, it have to communicate with the outer network like internet and etc. So it is necessary, it should always be on. That is why we are providing a backup solution to the router to so that it work continuously. Load balancing. We are using load balancing to divide the load on the router so that it should it should not be like all the load on the single router. So there is a less chance of failure. That is why we are doing the load balancing to divide the loads on the router. DHCP, that is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. We are using DHCP to give IP to the host automatically, as giving a static IP is a difficult task. So we are using a DHCP that the host can get IP automatically. Now firewall. So the main concern of this project was to give the security to a network. So we are using this firewall to avoid the attack from the outsider, to give the security from the outsider to a network. So these are the basic concepts that we are using in our project. And the rest of the part is going to be explained by my friend Dhruvi. She will explain you uh, later part of this PPT. So thank you everyone. I'll place Dhruvi to the continuation. Thank you.
Hey guys, so I'm Dhruvi and I'll be continuing the rest of the presentation as my friend Summer has already given you the basic idea and introduction to and the basic abstract of the project. I will be continuing the presentation starting from architecture and implementation. But before proceeding that, I would like to give some of the basic objectives of the project. The basic objective of the project is to provide easy and reliable communication between different devices in different departments of the company. So the configuration of all the switches at the same time can be done using the protocol known as VLAN trunking protocol. The configuration of computers from remote places can be done using Telnet. And for the concept of security, We are using firewalls against DDoS, distributed denial of service attack. It will deny the ICMP attack and will only allow TCP attack. Only for web servers IP, adding a ADDS type of security too. So proceeding towards the architecture, as you can see in the on the screen, there are different departments of the company. This is a small corporate company with different departments like financial department, HR department, maintenance department, marketing department, support department, main handling of the main offices. These are the different departments connected to the switches. There are a number of computers and they are connected to the switches. We have used three switches, um, two routers, a server, a firewall, ISP, that is Internet Service Provider, and there is one more PC of other branch. That is, um, this is the PC at the remote place of the same company with a different branch. There is one more branch of the company located at remote place, and the computer there wants to communicate with the different devices and computers present in this company. So this is the basic structure and architecture of our project. Next, I will proceed with the working of the project. We will start with the switches. So what are the basic concepts that we have used here in the project? Starting with switches, we have first used STP, that is Spanning Tree Protocol. Spanning Tree Protocol is a network protocol that builds up a loop-free logical topology for Ethernet network. The basic function of STP is to prevent bridge loop and broadcast radiation that results from them. The spanning tree also allows a network design to include backup link, providing a fault tolerance if an active link fails. So here in this project, STP is basically used to build a loop-free topology in this project, as there are three switches used. So there will be a loop created STP is not if STP is not used. See again here, as you can see here, there are three switches, so there may be a loop if we have not used STP, and the packet doesn't go from one place to another. It will go round and round and round in the loop. So to avoid that, we have used STP. The use of STP prevents the looping and the communication between the departments within the company continues. Okay, so next we have used is VLSM, variable length subnet mask. This is used to not waste the IP in the big organization. Like this divides the network. We we don't in a big company we don't want to waste the IPs, right? We want to use as much as possible IPs. So for that we have used VLSM. The other is VLAN switch console cable. That is, we have used VLANs. We have created VLANs in the switches with number of ports available in the switches. We have a total 8 VLANs in the project. VLAN 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80. So um, different departments in the company cannot communicate with each other. This is like a security. We have created a loop like different VLANs. Next is VTP VLAN trunking protocol. All the switches can be configured at the same time using VTP. All the three switches can be configured from at the same time. This can be done only on the server switch, not on the client switch. Okay. So next we will be moving towards routers. To communicate between the VLANs, the inter VLAN protocol is used, layer 3 switch. Router on a switch used on the router. Next we will see what is HSRP. Um, So it is a hot standby routing protocol. So in a computer networking, the whole hot standby router protocol is a Cisco priority redundancy protocol for establishing a fault-tolerant default gateway. Um, the protocol establishes an association between gateways to achieve default gateway failure if primarily gateway becomes inaccessible. So HSRP gateway sends multicast hello messages to the gateway to notify them of their priorities and current status. Um, HSRP is basically a redundancy protocol where when one path goes wrong with some defect in communication or networking with switches, the other path through which the packet can be passed is always ready to use. Next, we will see what is DHCP. It is a Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol is a network management protocol used on Internet Protocol Network, whereby a DHCP server dynamically assigns IP addresses to other network configuration. So it is like protocol that automatically gives IP addresses to every computer device on the present in the company. Next is NAT and PAT. To convert private IP to the public IP, we use a NAT and PAT. Now Telnet. Telnet is devices configured remotely. As I have shown you in the architecture, there is one PC at remote place. So to configure that, we used Telnet. ACL. ACL is access control list in router. It is set of rules that is used to filter network traffic. ACLs can be configured on network devices with a packet filtering capabilities such as routers and firewalls. ACL control list that is usually used to filter the traffic. The next and most important uh, is GRE tunneling. GRE tunneling is encapsulation. Generic routing encapsulation (GRE) is a tunneling protocol developed by Cisco Systems that can encapsulate a wide variety of network layer protocols inside virtual point-to-point links or point-to-multipoint links over an IP Internet Protocol network. Here in this project, GRE tunnel is built up between router 0 and router 3. Through this tunnel, the data can be transformed directly from router 0 to router 3 without the interference of router 2. So here in this project, in an architecture, you can see there is one router 0 and router 3. If the packet is to be sent from router 0 to router 2, there is no interference of router 3 because the GRE tunnel is built up between router 0 and router 3. Next, we'll move towards server and firewall. So, um, a firewall is a network security system that monitors and controls incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules. A firewall typically establishes a barrier between trusted internal network and untrusted external networks such as internet. We have used here DDoS, that is distributed denial of service attack. It will deny the ICMP attack and only allows TCP attack only for the web servers IP. Next is ADDS. It is a type of security that we have used in the project. Now we'll next move towards benefits. It is more efficient as we have used GRE, HSRP. It is load balancing because we have used routers that will balance the load on both sides. Anti-failure because we have used HSRP. If one path fails, it will go through the other path and the system doesn't stop. The packet will be sent continuously. It is cost efficient because there are no much costly equipments that is used in the project. Next is uses. Practically, it is practically possible for every small corporate companies to the multinational companies to implement the project. This was the presentation of our project. Thank you. Thank you so much.